I want to show you how to use simple drawing tools in 2D design. The first thing we want to do is figure out how to change the size of the document on here. So I put File, New, and then Drawing, Layout on here, and I'm going to change that to A4. It's got an A4 size on here, and I want it Portrait as well. So here I've got a different size on here. So here I'm going to double click on the grid, and I'm going to put every 5 millimeters on here and 5 on the other side as well. Click OK. You can see my little dots are a little bit closer together on here. So now I'm going to start the drawing on here. So you can draw lines with a line tool, and each time you click again you need to start so the lines kind of slightly overlap or really join together on here. So if you click grid lock on the side on the right on here, it's just going to do that properly for you. So you can put the back button to delete as well. So here I've got grid lock, and I'll start again. Now I've deleted that. So I'm trying to make the cone, so I'm drawing an ice cream cone. So I'm trying to make the cone part of the ice cream symmetrical and make sure that it fits kind of in the sheet on here. So here I'm using the symmetry and mirror and kind of duplicate on here. I need an axis on there, and it's mirrored the symmetry on there. Then you click delete to get rid of the extra bits on there. So here you can do the kind of scales on here to stretch it the right size, make it a bit longer, a little bit wider, and kind of make sure that it's in the middle on there. So now that I've got this, I'm going to move and with my line tool get a little bit of a pattern on the cone so it looks like wafers. So here I don't want mirror settings, so they've all got pull out menus on here. So I'm going to do copy settings. So I want to repeat here, and I might repeat, let's say 10 or 13 times. Here I put 18, okay, and just put a little line, the distance, I want them repeated, and the directions on here. So I'm going across diagonal on here. I'm going to let go, and it's going to repeat those on here. Okay, so now I've got them repeated. I've just got one out, but I can use my delete tool now to get all the lines that are not fitting my cone. So I just need to click on all these. It's got nice and neat. So that if my lines overlap, it's going to allow to all the lines to be closed with absolutely no gaps, which is going to be really good when we export them to make the design in the laser cutter, either engrave or cut the design in there. Okay, so now my cone is stripy, but I want kind of a grid pattern to make it look like a wafer. So I'm going to go on the other side and draw another line and just repeat the process. I got exactly the same on here. So the repeat, select my line, use a repeat tool. So click that on here, same number of times, click OK. And just pull that little bit, kind of the distance on them, and I want them repeated. Now back to delete and click all those on here to get rid of the extra lines that I do not want on there. And then I should have the cone part of my ice cream nice and symmetrical with nice regular pattern on there. All these, I'm going to go to the circle tool. So you need to start in the center where your circle to be and just kind of get it a little bit, because on the end when you release or click, you just set the size on here. So I've got one. I'm going to do my ice cream balls here. I'm not keeping it symmetrical because I want them a little bit irregular. And I'm going to move this one by clicking on it and pressing the center and adjusting the position on there. And then the last one is going to be slightly behind, so I want to position it on there to give that kind of 3D effect. Then with the delete tool, I'm going to delete all the bits I don't want. So you can see here I've deleted that wrong. Oh, not quite how I wanted, but these balls overlaps on here. So I've decided to delete the whole thing on there because it's not exactly what I want on there. So I'm putting my back button to delete all these circles on here so it's not nice and quick, and I'm going to redo that again. So if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter because it's something that you can correct quite easily. So back to my circle tool, center and stretch. And this one's a little bit too out of the way, so I'm going to click on it and move it in the right place. Move it again, you just click and drag to get that. and then another one on here. So now I know that last one is hidden. So I'm going to delete all the bits that are behind the first one. So that is the front one, that is the second one, and the last one in the background. So now I'm going to delete all the little extra bits on here into my cone. So I'm pressing the plus magnifying glass to zoom in. And you can see you can get really accurate because you can see really well what you're doing on there. And click all the tiny little bits. So make sure to get really good quality drawing that you've clicked all these little bits on here. So here I've accidentally deleted, so I can go back and then go back to my delete tool. Oh, oops, I did it again on there. So make sure you do it as accurately as possible. And if you make a mistake, just undo so you've got that sorted on there. So it takes a little bit of patience, but as you can see, it's pretty quick all around on there. So now I'm just zooming back out so I can see the whole thing on here. So here I'm choosing the curve tool. So here you kind of pull it and kind of drag it. So on here my curve tool, somehow I've still got the grid lock on, and you can see the curves are really difficult to do and they're not exactly following what I want to do, and I just want them to look like running chocolate sauce or running sauce on my ice cream on there, and it doesn't look quite right. So in order to correct that, I'm going to undo the grid lock, and on the next one you're going to be able to see the difference here. You can see the curve a lot nicer, so you click and curve to create those irregular patterns on there. You can see I've cut out of the circles as well, so I've got a little bit out to make sure I've got no gaps and it's looking exactly how it should. Okay, delete tool to get the spare bits. To go over the lines, make me sure that I haven't got any gaps, so it's perfect for my laser cutting on there. Then I'm going to do, here, just getting that one off nicely. Just going to make a flake on there. So zooming back in, I'm moving it to the flake area. I want it on this side here. And drawing my flake on here, overlapping again. You can see the first one I didn't overlap, so make sure the other ones were all overlapped on there. With the line tool. Then I'm going to use a line tool again to make the pattern on the flake on here, making it look like a flake on there, so just a few lines on there. Then just deleting all the extra lines that go over the boundaries. Okay, and that's done on here. So once you've done that, you can save your work as a JPEG and kind of put it in your folder on Teams, so you can print it out and put it back as your work for your assessment on there. And I'm also saving it as a 2D design file to just make 100% sure that I can use it and edit it again if I need to.